We're down to our last 2 cookies of Halloweenish. Today, we finally get to the candy corn and the one cookie missing the candy corn colors. Back in part 4, Icing Witch Hat Commentary, I showed you my second and third favorite cookies of the 14 designs I made for Halloweenish. Well, we have finally made it to my favorite. And wouldn't you know, it's the one cookie that actually is a candy corn. I have learned over the time that I've been attempting to decorate cookies that the ones that appeal to me the most are very simple. As with many of the other revelations I have had throughout this journey, this too shouldn't surprise me. I am not a fan of ornate things, and I cannot do clutter. The quote-unquote most beautiful cookies that I have seen on some of the out of the US channels are too cluttery looking for me. I understand why they're considered beautiful. They just don't appeal to me. Here is a little secret. This isn't a candy corn cutter. If you saw Icing Sweet Summer Commentary, you will know that this is my watermelon cutter. I am quite enjoying repurposing so many cutters throughout this series. It makes me feel like I found $5 in my pocket that I forgot about. You like how I just kind of threw on a couple of marks willy-nilly onto that cookie? I just needed marks in the vicinity of where my different sections will end up. Sometimes I need precision with my markings, but not today. And just in case you aren't aware, I did use an edible ink marker. Please do not use a Sharpie marker on your cookies. I get my edible markers on Amazon. They're just the cheapy ones, but so far, I haven't had one give out on me. I have had the butter in the cookies wreak a little havoc on the marker in the moment though. It can cause the ink to seem faint on the surface, but I have a remedy for that. I just take one of my damp paper towels and wipe off the end of the marker, and presto changeo, like new again. I'm doing one of my favorite techniques here. Well, ish. This is technically wet on wet, but I prefer not to think of it that way. I prefer to call this wet next to wet, which I like much better. I'll tell you why when we get to the next cookie. Using my one consistency outline and flood, I place both sections of icing next to each other without waiting for the sections to dry. And the icing seamlessly melts together. It's simple and pretty. Time to add the pie crust. I am using a medium peak piping consistency along with a flat tip that I have no idea how to describe, but I'm gonna try anyway. It's almost like a flat teardrop shape. I place the narrower side down toward the cookie and the fatter side up top. Squeeze the bag and sweep back and forth. It's actually quite easy. Perhaps another reason this one is my favorite. Now for a sneak peek into our next decorating series. I will be icing all 6 of the designs in the Graceful Baker's Cozy Fall decorating class that I purchased online. I will share with you all of the ups and the downs of what it took to make this super cozy set. I change up the original color palette a little, use the Sugar Art Master Elites for the first time, and try my hand again at the knit technique. So be on the lookout for making cozy fall. Ever since I saw the video the Graceful Baker did with all the different maple leaves, I have wanted a maple leaf cutter. So I bought one. Well, sort of. I actually just bought the STL file I needed to print it out on Cameraman's 3D printer. Which is really nice because this file I got from the Sweet Design shop came with files for 6 different sizes for only a few dollars. That is a steal. Most cookie cutters have a soft look to them, This maple leaf has all of these really nice, sharp edges. I think it's perfect for what I have designed for it. I will be using only my one consistency outline and flood icings for the design on this leaf. Oh, and this is the one cookie that doesn't have the candy corn colors. That was an error. I meant to put a candy corn spider in the middle and forgot. So I've kept you in suspense long enough. I am getting to the point where I really am not enjoying wet on wet. Which, spoiler alert, is exactly what I'm doing here. For some reason, it does not want to play nice with me. I see all of these really neat looking wet on wet designs all over YouTube and then sit down and design something that is going to be simple to execute but with wow factor impact. And then I try to make it happen. And more often than not, I am underwhelmed. You might be wondering at this point, why? It seems that unless my flood icing is ridiculously thin, I mean thin to the point that no matter what you do, it craters. It wants to start setting up before I can get the details down and my scribe to it. I have a little theory about this. Unless I have that unreasonably thin icing I mentioned, I do not have any issues with craters. But I do have this issue with the wet on wet. I am wondering if both are a result of the climate I live in. Southern California is very dry. Most of the tutorials I watch have a very consistent message about trying to prevent craters, and many of them are in Canada and the eastern US, where, if I'm not mistaken, is humid, or at least way more humid than here. If you have watched many of my videos, I never try to prevent craters, and I don't get craters. I'm going with climate. From the finishing of the flood to the completion of my cookie, just a little over a minute has passed, and the icing is already setting up around the edges. I know you have to work fast, but seriously, I cannot work that fast. You can see here I even try to settle the icing just a little, but it's already too set up. So it appears my designs going forward will probably not include much wet on wet. So tell me, which of the Halloweenish cookies is your favorite? If you haven't seen all 7 parts of this series, the link to the Halloweenish playlist is on the end card. See you next time.
Next time on Kuny's Cookie Chronicles.
Welcome to Making Cozy Fall, a 6-part series based on an online class I purchased from the Graceful Baker. Throughout this series, I will share with you all of the likes and dislikes, ups and downs, and yays and boos I experienced while decorating these cookies. There is a lot to cover, so let's get started with the cozy scarf.